In this video, I'm going to show you how I configured a bridge aggregation between this core 1 switch and this access switch 1. So as you can see, there's two ports connected between them. So that's what I uh, I configured bridge aggregation and associate these ports. Let me see if I can there. So these are ports, the, the port names. So let me go to core one and access switch one. I have configured a SVI or layer 3 ports on both switches. So let me show you the output of display interface brief on core 1. So as you can see, VLAN 100 is configured and it has this IP address 10.11.29, and on the access switch display interface brief it has VLAN 100 configured also, and it has this IP address 10.11.30. And um, as you can see, uh, the layer 3 interface are in this section, and if you go down, these are the layer 2 ports. So there's when you do a display interface brief, there's two sections, layer 3 port interface or layer 3 interfaces and layer 2 interfaces. So same is true on access switch. So I think this is generally true on the COMware devices or HP devices. So layer 3 interfaces, layer 2 interfaces here. So, okay. And by the way, let me show you the VLAN. VLAN. So I've got, so VLAN 1 is configured by default, and I've got VLAN 100 configured. I configured this myself. And let me go to access switch 1, VLAN, display VLAN. So same is true on access switch 1. VLAN 1 is configured by default, and I configured VLAN 100. So let me try to ping um, here. So I've got .29 on core 1 and .30 on core on access switch 1. Let me see if I can ping the access switch 1. 10.1.1.30. Okay, I can ping it. And let me go to access switch 1 and ping the core switch 29. I can ping it as well. So I just wanted to show you that uh, there's layer 3 connectivity between these devices. So let me show you now how I configured the bridge aggregation on between these devices. So let me do a show interface brief. So as you can see, there is this interface bag 1, and uh, actually let me back up. Let me because this is basically the verification of the bridge aggregation. Let me show you now the configuration of the bridge aggregation. So this is the I have prepared the bridge aggregation configurations on both switches. So this is the configuration of the bridge aggregation one on the core. So let me just copy this interface and so display this. So as you can see, it should have the same configuration. So description, port link type trunk, and link aggregation mode dynamic. So it's using LACP, the LACP protocol, link aggregation. I think it stands for LACP, link aggregation protocol. LA, no, link aggregation control protocol. And I did not permit VLAN 1 because this is for security purposes. I did not permit VLAN 1 to traverse the port or the bridge aggregation. And I have VLAN 100 configured on both switches, so I am permitting VLAN 100 because this is uh, basically the management VLAN on these devices. And this one here, this is, let me show you this. Let me do a show. So MAD, it's just basically multi-active detection. So I believe uh, it detects the bridge aggregation detects the uh, the multi the multiple ports when they are active, and I think when one of them goes down, the bridge aggregation would still be up. So that is just my understanding, but I need to verify it. But for now, we'll just leave it as it is. And this one here, let me go back, display this. Root, STP root protection. This is, I believe this is just to protect this switch or this port to be always the root port or the root bridge. So um, now let me show you the ports. I mean the configuration on the member ports. So here, as you can see, you just have I can just copy and paste this into the switch, but I already did this. I'm just showing you how the configurations now. So let me do a interface. Let me do grid interface 10 gigabit Ethernet 1050. Display this. So port link mode bridge, um, because I think this is enabled by default. I did not configure this. Let me go back to here. Uh, on the bridge aggregation port, it doesn't show that that's a link mode bridge. Let me do this. Port link mode. Yeah. So this is port link mode is basically the option for you to whether you want this port to be a layer 2 port or layer 3 port. So bridge meaning that it's a layer 2 port. So let me go back here. So this is just a description, member one of bag one, and this is link type trunk. Of course, I'm configuring these ports as trunk, and same is true. I mean the same on bridge aggregation one. I do not permit the VLAN one to traverse the port or this bridge aggregation port, and I'm permitting VLAN 100. And I think this combo enabled fiber. This is enabled by default as well. And this is how you actually make this physical port as a member of the aggregation, bridge aggregation one port. So let me show you the other uh, interface, which is 10, yeah, gigabit 51. Display this. So the configuration is the same. So here, so that's why you can use the range option because the member ports should have the same configuration. So yeah, let me show you now the configuration on the access switch, the bridge configuration on the access switch. I'm gonna uh, post this configuration in the description section of the video. So you can just copy and paste this and uh, you can just copy and paste this yourself if you want to lab this as well. So this is let me copy and paste this to the access switch. So display this. So let me do this. Display this. So description bag to core switch here. And of course, this is a trunk port and I am not permitting VLAN 1 and I'm permitting VLAN 100. And uh, the this link aggregation or this bridge aggregation port is using LACP as its protocol to communicate with the other bridge aggregation port. So that's the. Let me show you the difference. The difference of the bridge aggregation configuration on core switch and access switch. So this is the bridge aggregation port or bridge aggregation configs on the access switch, and this is the bridge aggregation port config on the core switch. So this is just the some of the differences. The this feature is or this option is configured on the bridge aggregation port on the core switch, and the STP root protection is configured on that port as well. The rest is the same. And by the way, you don't have to undo shutdown on all the ports. The ports, I just add this just to to make sure that that you enable the port as well, the ports as well. But you don't have to configure this. The ports are enabled by default. So Yes, the the member ports have the same configuration on core switch, core one switch, and access switch one. So you can just let me show you the configuration of the member ports here. Display this. So that is the configuration on this port, physical port. Let me go to this port. Display this. And that is the configuration on that port. So the important thing here is the this this option here, uh, this option here, link aggregation mode. If you don't specify this, the the protocol, I mean, there will be no protocol. It's gonna be static, and on the member ports, this is the where is it? This is the option where you uh, associate the physical port to the bridge aggregation port. So group one meaning this bridge aggregation one. So that's why it's group one. And by the way, the numbering doesn't have to the bridge aggregation one doesn't have to be the same on the access switch device. So you can have bridge aggregation one on core one switch, and you can have bridge aggregation two on the access switch one. But I think it's best practice that you have the same numbering, right? So let me show you the verification commands. Display link aggregation member, display link aggregation member port. This is to view the aggregation ports. So let's say you don't know the configured aggregation ports on the devices. You can just uh, verify it by doing this command. So let me let me do this. Quit, quit. So display link aggregation port. So you can see that this is the aggregate interface, bridge aggregation one, and this is the the physical ports here, same bridge aggregation one and the physical ports. So that's how you can verify the aggregation ports, both the bridge aggregation and the physical ports. This is display link aggregation summary. This is to view the aggregation mode. So in this case, let me do that command again. In this case, we are using LACP as the aggregation mode. I mean, dynamic. We are The mode of the aggregation is dynamic because we are using LACP as the protocol. But if we are not using a protocol, the aggregation mode will be static, as you can see here, static and dynamic. So LACP uh, is standard. So that's how you can verify the aggregation mode. And this is display interface brief. This is basically to quickly view the speed of the bridge aggregation and the duplex type and the private ID. So this is the native VLAN. By default, native VLAN is one. And let me show you that the member ports are up as well. Here, these are the member ports. So next is display interface bridge aggregation one. So this is if you want, this is a command that you can use if you want to verify, I mean to view the details of the port. So current state up, description, bandwidth is 20 gig. So you can also see that here. And speed modes, duplex. So here are also 20 gig GBps, gigabit per second. And duplex mode, I mean, mode is full duplex. So auto negotiation. So private ID, one, port link type trunk, VLAN passing 100, VLAN permitted 100, and looks like there's no traffic traversing the port. Double check. There's no traffic traversing the port right now. All zero, right? Yeah. Next is display link aggregation verbose bridge aggregation one. So this is to view the local member ports and the remote member ports. So if you want to know the remote physical ports on the other side of the connection, you can use this command. So I've got some note here. When you configure the bridge aggregation interface, the member ports will not be, I mean, will be automatically configured as well. So let's say that you have created a bridge aggregation port and you have member ports that are already that are already part of that. You have physical ports that are already part of that bridge aggregation port. Um, when you, let's say, when you permit a VLAN on the aggregation port, it should be automatically configured on the physical ports as well. And when you have configured the member ports as part of a bridge aggregation port and one of them did not come up, just try to restart your devices. So I encountered this issue when I have configured the physical ports as part of the bridge aggregation port and one of them did not come up. So what I did, I just restarted the devices and it came up. So did I think I haven't tried to ping from. Did I? Let me go back. Anyway, I'm gonna ping the display IP interface. Oops. You can use display IP interface brief if you want to just view the layer 3 ports or interfaces. So I'm gonna ping the access switch 1 from core 1. So IP address is 10.1.30. I can ping access switch 1 and let me ping core 1 switch 29. And I can ping it as well. All right, so that is how you can configure a bridge aggregation between uh, HP devices. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.